In this video, I want to look at the order of operations. Now, the order of operations in general is always the same. It doesn't matter if you're working with whole numbers, fractions, decimals. Your order of operations has a root structure which remains the same regardless. In other words, PEMDAS. Please excuse me, dear Aunt something. Okay. When I was growing up, it was Dear Aunt Sally. So fill in the S for however you were taught. Now, P stands for parentheses. What that means is that you have to perform all operations inside the parentheses before you can do anything outside. Once you're done or have satisfied your parentheses, you need to look for exponents. And then you have to simplify those exponents by performing those exponents before you can move on. When we talk about multiply, divide, okay, you are going to go from left to right, and then it's whichever comes first. This means when you're moving left to right, if the first operation you see is division, then that is what you would do first. You do the division. Okay? Well, it's the exact same for addition and subtraction. Again, you're going to move from left to right, and you're going to do whichever comes first. Okay. So addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, it's the same. You move left to right, and then you do whichever one is first. And then you keep on going left to right and move so on and so forth from there. Okay. So let's take a look at just a few examples so that you can see how this works. So again, no matter where you start, you always have to come back here to your PEMDAS idea. Please excuse me, dear Aunt Sally, or Sarah, or whatever your S word is. So when I'm looking at this first one, notice I have a parentheses. So the very first thing that I have to do is I have to do the math from inside this parentheses, and I don't care about anything else. So I'm going to do 26.2 minus 14.8, which gives me 11.4, and then I have to multiply that by the 12. I'm then going to look at it again, and the only other operation I have is this multiply by 12, so I'm going to go ahead and do that, which gives me 136.8. Now along the whole step, notice I always just used rounded to the 10th spot. The reason for that is because inside my problem here I only had to the 10th spot. So a good rule to remember is whatever decimal place your problem has, your work or solution should match. In other words, if your problem has only to the 10th place, then your answer should have to the 10th place. If your problem had to the 100th place, then your solution should have to the 100th place, and so on and so forth. Okay? So usually after you get down, or do all of your work, the last thing you would want to do is you would want to go ahead and potentially round to whatever place you've been shown. So let's look at this next one. I have 12 divided by 0.03 minus 12 times 0.03 squared. So I don't have any parentheses here, but I do have this exponent here. So that's the first thing that I need to do, is I need to do 0.03 squared. And so that's the same as doing 0.03 times 0.03, which is going to give you the original problem, 12 divided by 0.03 minus 12 times, and then this result becomes 0.0009. Now, moving left to right, the next thing you have to do is you have to look for any other exponents. So I'm looking at my new line and I don't have any exponents. So now I look for multiplication or division from left to right, whatever comes first. So remember, this is your left side, and we're going to look in this direction and do what comes first. So the first thing I have is 12 divided by 0.03. So this is the next place I have to go, or I have to do. So this is the math to perform. 12 divided by 0.03 should give you 400. And then we have everything else. Minus the 12 times 0.0009. So again, I'm going to go left to right. So I've got 400 minus 12 times. So this right here becomes the next math that has to be performed. So if you look at it, I'm still going to have my 400 minus, but then I have 12 times 0.0009. So when you multiply that, we're going to come out with 0.018108. Okay. So notice I had 1, 2, 3, 4 decimal places, so I have 1, 2, 3, 4 decimal places. Now I don't have any other multiplication or division, so now I switch over to addition subtraction. The only thing that's left here is to combine these two terms themselves. So you have 400 minus this is going to give you 399.9892. Okay. So again, if you looked at your calculator, we would do 400 minus 0.0108 equals, and then here, once you get to this point, depending on what it is that your problem asked or what your instructor is wanting, you can either leave this answer as is, or if you look in your problem, you only ever had to the hundredth spot. So that would mean, again, we would be looking at this spot here, 2 decimal places. So we would use the spot next to it, which is a 9. 9 rounds up, so this would be also the same as saying 399.99. So depending on your instructor is going to depend on which method you want. Okay. I personally am one that likes to see the number as is, so I would be looking more for the original answer that has all 4 decimal places, but it does come down more towards personal preference or what your directions were saying. Okay, so just be aware and be careful. Alright, if we look at this next one, notice I have a parentheses. So the first thing I need to do is I need to do the stuff here inside my parentheses. So I have 8 minus 0.04. So this is going to give me parentheses 7.96 squared divided by my 4 plus 8.7 times 0.4. Again, I have to do PEMDAS. So PEMDAS says that I have to move left to right. So in doing that, the next thing I have to do here is my exponent. So I'm going to do 7.96 squared, which is going to give me 63.3616. I'm then going to divide by 4 plus 8.7 times 0.4. I then have to move left to right, and I'm going to look for multiplication or division, and the reason for that is because I'm out of parentheses and I don't have any more exponents. So moving left to right, the first thing I have here operation wise is divide. So I'm going to combine these two here. So I've got 63.3616 divided by 4 is going to give you 15.8404. And then we're going to have plus the 8.7 times 0.4. Again, move left to right. I have a plus, but then I have a multiplication. So I have to do the multiplication first. 8.7 times 0.4 is going to give me 3.48. So then I still have that 15.8404, and I'm adding. The last operation I have is this addition, so you're going to go ahead and finish it out, which is going to give you back to 19.3204. Again, if you notice in your problem, you have a rounded to the hundredths and you have to the tenths place. So here, because I have a mixture of decimal types, I would leave it as written at 0.3204. Okay. Alright, last, as you can see, we have kind of parentheses inside a bracket. So the very first thing that we have to do is this parenthesis here. Okay. So we have 5.5 squared times bracket 6 minus 4.2 is going to give you 1.8 divided by 0.06 plus 0.12, close the bracket. We are still inside of parentheses, so the next thing that I have to do is order of operations inside the parentheses. I have division and addition. Division has to come first. So this is still my 5.5 squared times, and then I have 1.8 divided by 0.06 gives you 30 plus 0.12. I still have a parenthesis, so I still have to work inside it. The only thing left to do is to combine these two terms. So now I'm going to have 5.5 squared times 30.12. Now that my parentheses are completely done, I need to go ahead and do my exponent. 5.5 squared is going to give me 30.25, and I'm going to multiply that by 30.12. Since I have nothing else to do, this is the last piece, and this is going to end up with 911.13. Okay. So that's kind of a snapshot into the order of operations and how it works using decimals and what it is that you need to look for. So if you have any questions, please let me know. Otherwise, be sure to keep smiling, remember to relax, have fun with your math, and as always, I'll see you next time.